Creating great content on YouTube is not only what happens in front of the camera, but also what is behind the camera. In today's video, we're going to take you on a little bit of a behind-the-scenes tour of our studio and the progress we've made over the past few months. In addition to that, we are going to be taking these lights here, like this one behind me, and mounting them up on a custom pole solution that we rigged up on our ceiling a few weeks ago. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. And then also, we are going to be mounting some 22-inch LED TVs up on this custom pole solution as well to use as studio monitors for our different camera angles and shots in the studio. So get ready for a really fun video today of behind the scenes at LoveTech. So as I mentioned in the intro, in today's video we're going to be taking the light behind me and the one that's actually in front of me here right now, and we're going to be putting them up on the custom pole solution behind me. In addition to that, we're going to be mounting 2 TVs up there as well, and that will provide us with additional studio monitors so we can be able to see our camera angles with a bigger screen. So I don't have to look at this tiny little screen. It's like, oh, am I centered in the shot? We'll actually be able to see ourselves a lot better, which will be a really nice thing, especially with the amount of videos that we're recording. Not only do we use this studio space for LoveTech, but we also use it for our gaming and Pokemon review channel called The Mediocre Dungeon Co. I'll leave a link down below in the description if you're into Pokemon, board games, Magic the Gathering. Definitely go check out our channel over there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get to a time lapse here now. I'm going to show you guys the very sped up version of us putting these components up on the mounting bar on the ceiling behind us here, and then I'm going to come back and explain what we did, how we did it, and break down some of the costs for you as well, and kind of give you an overall feel for how much did something like this project really cost us. Hey guys, so we got everything done as you saw in the time lapse. We got both of our TVs and lights up on our pole mounting ceiling system. Now what I want to do is go through and show you guys exactly what we put up, and then do a little bit of a cost breakdown to show you that this is really an affordable project that you can do to make your studio space better at home. Okay, as you can see right here, high in the TV up there, you can see that we got both our lights, this one and that one, up. And then we got both of our TVs up there. This TV here is going to be our main camera here, which is set up in front of me. And then we are going to be installing another camera up here with a pole on the ceiling, and that's going to be a top-down shot. So basically, it will sort of, you know, look like this when we are recording videos. So we'll be able to see our top-down shot to make sure we're lining everything up in our top-down shots. So what I want to do now is go through and do a little bit of a breakdown on some of the other accessories you might not see that are up here, and talk a little bit about those. So as you can see, we have a light up here, and then behind the light, of course, we have the power cords. I bought a 20-foot power cord, and it just runs down here and plugs in right here. So super inexpensive. I believe I spent something like 20 bucks on it. I'll put the actual price on the screen of that right now. These lights we already owned. I bought a pack of 3 of them. They're newer studio lights. They're RGB and white lights, and you can also control them from your phone. So I'll put a link on the screen right now. Then back here on the back of these lights, you'll notice that we have these cables wrapped around, and these are actually safeties. So you might be wondering, what's a safety? What does it actually look like? You really can't see it up there that well. So I'm gonna show you guys here. This is what a safety looks like. Basically, it's a piece of cable that's rated for a certain amount of weight. They come in various lengths. You can buy them. I bought an 8-pack on Amazon. I'll put the price on the screen for those right now. But you'll notice that there is a hook or a latch that you can loop the other side of this cable in. So basically what you do with these safeties is you wrap them around something secure on your device. That way, if it were to come dislodged from the mounting brackets or from the pole will catch them, and this safety cable will actually make it so your device doesn't fall on your head, doesn't fall on your floor, doesn't damage the stuff in your studio space. The next thing I want to talk about are, you'll see we have some zip ties on here. Now, I went with a pack of 100 8-inch zip ties. They were, again, very inexpensive. I'll put the price on the screen for you guys now on those. So what makes this zip tie a reusable zip tie, you might be wondering? Well, if we flip this over to the back of the zip tie here, you'll notice that on here, there's a little plastic piece you can push, and that will actually release the tension on the other side of the zip tie here where there are all these grooves. The nice thing about reusable zip ties is, say for instance, if you're wanting to make a modular setup and you don't want to keep putting zip ties on equipment and taking them off, this is a great solution for that type of installation. Another good application for reusable zip ties in this situation is, say if you're on the road a lot, if you're traveling, you can literally take these zip ties and reuse them multiple times, so you don't have to waste money on buying just regular zip ties. These cost about the same price as regular zip ties, so I'd highly recommend buying something like this. Now back here behind the lights, you'll notice that we have these clamps that actually just are clamped onto the pole itself, and then off of here, the light actually attaches onto these clamps. So I'll put a link in the description and a price on the screen now of how much a pack of 2 of those was. It wasn't very expensive, pretty inexpensive overall, and I'm pretty impressed with the results. These are really nice because I can easily adjust where I want the lights on the bar up above here. Now we're behind the TVs, and I want to draw your attention to a couple things. And I actually had to make a modification to one of these things. So I actually bought 2 of these monitor swivel arms that mount to a pole. Now the first modification I had to make to these is I actually had to put a piece of like rubber underneath where this is wrapped around the pole. There's just like a clamp that you tighten down. The reason for that is because these clamps only go down so small, and I'll get to talking a little bit more about what type of pipe we used for this application in just a minute. But this is 3/4 inch pipe, and these brackets, you can't find really any 3/4 inch brackets that will mount onto a 3/4 inch pipe like this. So I had to become inventive. I had to think outside the box. I'm like, well, what exactly do I put on here? So I wrapped some rubber, like stretchy material around there that provides good friction and good hold. It actually provides a little bit of flex on that arm, which is nice as well. And that's what I did to attach the monitor or TV stands to the pole mounting system itself. The other thing you might notice is there is tape around here and also a zip tie. I didn't read when I bought these online, but this swivel arm here, you'll notice over here on this side, there's an Allen wrench tightener. And that Allen wrench tightener I thought was supposed to tighten down, but apparently there's other Allen wrench pieces on this monitor thing as well. And those ones tighten down, but this one does not. So that swivel arm I had to lock into place. So I kind of had to improvise here a little bit. I wrapped tape around that, and then also a couple of zip ties just to kind of give it some extra security. Those are pretty strong. And again, these TVs, they're super light, and I'll get to talking about those in a second as well. Then over next to these TVs here, you'll see in the middle, I mounted with a few zip ties our power strip that I showed you the other end of before. Again, this is a 20-foot power strip, just a standard 6-plug power strip. And then of course I bought a couple of HDMI cables. This is a HDMI to mini HDMI cable, which plugs into my Nikon camera here. And then another cable here on the back I just have resting up there right now for our top-down camera angle shot. That is a HDMI to micro HDMI for our Sony camera. Next, I want to talk about the two TVs that we mounted up here. These are Insignia 22-inch 1080p TVs. These fit really nicely because, as you can see here, we have a couple of doors to our studio here. And what we needed to do in this case was to be able to close and open these doors still and have these up off the floor and mount them to the pole mounting system up there. So the 22-inch TVs are perfect for this because they are big enough to be able to be really great studio monitors. However, they're not itty bitty like a 17 or 19 inch, which you could get. And again, these are 1080p TVs. A lot of smaller TVs than this are actually only 720, like a 19-inch TV. So this provided us with really good clarity on still a relatively small TV, so we could use these as studio monitors. And finally, I wanted to talk about the pole mounting system and what we did here. So what I did is I went to Lowe's and we bought, as you can see up here, a long 2x4, an 8-foot 2x4, and we cut it into a few sections. One here, and then one down there. After we cut that down, I spray painted them, of course. I also spray painted all the piping here. Now, the piping might surprise you as to what it actually is. This is actually natural gas piping. Yes, you heard me right, natural gas piping. It's super strong. It's really thick. It's thicker than like a plumbing pipe or like a fence pole. And it is pretty heavy, I will say. But the nice thing about this is they are threaded connections. So this is a mount that we mounted onto this 2x4 here. You can see a circular mount that has 4 screws on it. And then that comes off on what's called a 6-inch nub. And then we have an elbow shape there. And these are, again, all threaded, very strong connections. And then we got a 10-foot natural gas pipe cut in half. And you'll notice here in the middle that we have a T instead of an elbow. And this provides our pipe with extra stability, which is super nice. So we're only having our pipe being 5-foot segments instead of one long 10-foot segment. So now you might be wondering, well, how exactly did we attach this to the ceiling? So you'll notice these 2x4s are attached with screws. We have 4 on each board attached into our joists on the ceiling here. And these are, believe it or not, 4-inch screws. So knock on wood, this thing should not be going anywhere. I would say the piping probably weighs about 15 to 20 pounds total. And then our lights weigh about 3 or 4 pounds a piece, and then our TVs are about 3 or 4 pounds as well. We wrap in the power cords as well. We're probably talking about a 45 to 50 pound weight load on those joists on the ceiling there. And again, that 45 to 50 pound payload is, again, stretched out over this 10-foot span, but supported there in the middle with that divider or that T intersection. So again, that 45 to 50 pounds is spread out over this whole entire truss-like system here on the ceiling. So the weight is very well evenly distributed. And again, knock on wood, this should not be going anywhere. And guys, that does it for another LoveTech video today. I really hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes look at some of this great stuff we have going on here at LoveTech and kind of where we're going from here as a channel and wanting to be able to improve our channel and our studio space one step at a time. So if you did like this video, you know what to do. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, definitely consider clicking on the subscribe button as well and clicking the bell to be notified next time we post other great content here on YouTube. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. Definitely go check that out. I'm at LoveTech for you. And also, I'm posting a lot of great content on my Patreon page for behind the scenes content. If you want to become a member of that, head over to patreon.com/LoveTech today. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Didn't get enough LoveTech today? Then head over to patreon.com/LoveTech to see exclusive behind the scenes videos, photos, and projects that I'm working on. Now, enjoy some bonus material from today's episode. Hey guys, so we got everything up on the poles.